I got here just before 5. Bit too late. Moon's already up. Shouldn't be so bad. Tomorrow night maybe.
So what time does the eclipse start? 8:15 or is it 3 o'clock in the morning?
6:20 in the morning.
Oh no way, that's when the eclipse starts.
Yeah, so it'll be happening as the sun's coming up.
Wow.
Yeah. I had a feeling it would rise a bit early today, but
Yeah, it was strong.
normally the full moon only rises right on sunset.
Okay, usually.
Yeah, but it'll be as much as 12-hour window towards the exact full, which means the exact full will actually be 12 in the morning. So we won't see it here, 6 in the morning, sorry, because
it'll be on the other side of the world.
yeah, basically. On the other side of the plane anyway.
So, from what I understand, is the eclipse is the sun's here, the Earth is in between, the moon is.
That's what they say. I don't buy it. I saw an eclipse once before, and the moon was roughly a bit higher than that. It was about 9 at night, and the shadow came across over this way, and I thought, no, that doesn't work. Not on this globe world that we're told we should be living on. We're supposed to be on this spinning globe. I'm not buying it. I'm looking for evidence that the Earth is flat and stationary, and to me the moon gives it to us. I mean, look at that horizon. It's completely flat, and the amount of actual distance you were seeing there is a ridiculous amount of miles when you consider if you could see 90 miles.
Yeah. From that point to that point, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you should see some amount of curvature if it's a sphere. That's why I'm...
But can the naked eye distinguish like some kind of curvature as well? Like that great mass?
Yeah, well, think about this one, that we're told you can see a boat going over the curvature in the distance. If you're standing at sea level, see little Julian rocks there?
Yeah.
This is my favourite one. If you're standing on the beach, that rock is above eye level. It's above horizon level. And so anything beyond that is obviously going to disappear because it seems like it's far enough away. So by that very...
It's a big fucking whale just there before.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
So by this very concept of being able to see a boat go over the curvature in 3 miles or so, if you're looking at least 90 miles, according to all globe Earth calculations, 90 miles is 1 mile of curvature. A whole mile of curvature. So if it's going away from you, why the hell can't you see it this way as well? Yeah, that's way more than 90 miles, and it's dead flat from one side to the other. You can put a spirit level up here and there's no curvature.
So what happens, because we all know like how gravity works with, water works with gravity, it falls. So if the Earth is flat, what happens to the ocean at the end of the Earth?
Well, there is no end, that's the whole idea.
Okay.
Obviously it's contained on the other side by other land masses, and if you go all the way to the Antarctic circle surrounding us, that's a massive ice wall that holds it all in. Like, you think of a bowl of water, a glass of water, it's only held in by higher edges. There's no possible way you can imagine a glass big enough so that the edge is so far away you can't see it, that the water is lower than, say, the level of your table, and the water is still staying in there. That's not how water works.
Blow my mind right now.
Water stays this way by being level.
I took a drop of LSD today, and you're just completely
awesome.
Fucking,
All right, if I put you on this, I'm going to try and YouTube it.
I think I've already had it. So.
I haven't really grabbed your face. I'm skimmed past it, but no.
Wow.
This is why I come here regularly, to try and film it from here, because you can see just how flat and level it is, where there should technically be a massive amount of curvature visible if it exists from left to right. Like, you think about if you're standing at a lake, no different from an ocean. If you're seeing something disappear over the curvature away from you, and somebody standing 90 degrees over the other side looking at it from the other way should see the boat doing this, going over the curvature.
Yeah.
It can't possibly be disappearing over it from here, but they still see it just going all the way flat across. And you can stay up here and watch massive ships out on the horizon as far as you can see, and they will still be visible just as tiny little dots without disappearing, and they'll go left to right, no problem.
So you know how our brains are like perfect, like they're great at creating like the world that we live in. It's kind of like it's creating, it's helping us find our way through this world, you know, through our senses and stuff, and then the brain kind of fills in everything else. You know, like we only see red, green, and blue. Like we've only got the receptors in our eyes
To see a certain amount of colours or
red,
light,
green,
whatever.
and blue, and then everything else in between that. If it's like not completely red, if it's not completely green, and it's not completely blue, it makes up. We have these receptors. That's what I learned at university. So it's not solid, but it's
No, I know what you're saying. Like
we've got cones and rods, and the rods are to do with dark and light. You know, like a contrast, and then the cones are for colour, and then everything else that your body doesn't take in as stimulus is made up from your brain. And I'm just thinking, you know, you guys are all. Oh, sorry, I'm not putting you all.
No. I'm really open to discussion.
You're saying that, you know, you see this thing going straight along, the boat going straight along the horizon, and even if you look at it from a different angle, it still looks like it's going straight, but maybe our brain is just filling in the gaps.
Yeah, well,
somehow,
I'll tell you how it really works. Oh, here comes the moon back up again. Oh, fucking hell, another message come up. Yeah, trying to capture a bit of, that's what I come down here for, the images of the moon. Oh, there it is, just behind that cloud there. Yeah, it's things in the distance, as a result of being far in the distance, they shrink. Yeah, like you can tell that's how you get perspective. Like you look at Cape Byron over there, for example.
It's getting smaller.
Yeah, it looks really tiny, but when you go right down there, it's actually really big, and the lighthouse is massive and all this. So everything shrinks in the distance. And so pretty much that's what everything in the distance is just distance shrinkage, proportional away. So our brains obviously fill in this certain place.
There it is.
Like we see the horizon, for example, we think of that as a definitive line, and yet it's actually not. And this is one of my favourites, to go down to the Cape and film it, is actually you are looking into infinity across that line. But as it shrinks and shrinks and shrinks, it all diminishes into this one spot, and then our eyes just pick up and say, okay, well, there's the straight line. But if you've got tiny objects like boats out there, which are massive objects up close, you will actually see them as something tiny, and it is always above that line because it's not obviously straight. Well, obviously it keeps going. You're looking into infinity, and eventually things will shrink so much you can't pick them up or see them anymore.
What's amazing for me is I can still see the whale splashes from here. It's crazy. Just saw another one. Definitely know it's full moon.
There's a boat out there though.
Yeah, and just where Julian's Rock is.
Just to the right of it, yeah.
And there was just beyond that,
Another
shrinking
splash.
in the distance was a big whale splash.
I only just saw the headline today too, but in the Echo they said that Migaloo has been seen again. He's this famous white one.
Oh, really? Wow.
And I've got a bit of a little claim to fame there that very few people know about. I saw him when he was like just born practically in the Mile River down at Port Stephens. No one believed me the next day because I was only 13 years old or something at the time. And I said, do you get whales in this river? Because I'm just crossing the bridge looking at dolphins. And they just laughed at me. Oh yeah, what were you on? What were you smoking? I said, well, okay, we had a couple of beers or something you should do at 13, 14 years of age. And I saw a white whale, and I honestly got this connection with him. He was so lost and lonesome. He'd been abandoned. And he was first discovered about 10 years later in the same area of Port Stephens, and they estimated his age at being about 10 years.
Wow.
And I went, I told you. Everyone I spoke to and ridiculed me and all this, I saw a white whale in the river because he was way bigger than the dolphins and he was only just a baby. But But yeah, he's come back again. He comes back every year now. I saw him a couple of years ago again.
It's good food around here, that's why.
Oh, all the whales migrate up and down. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that their existence in the ocean is extremely, well, just like everything. Everything has its own reason for being here, but them especially, they actually help when they dive deep into the ocean. They work as turbines to bring up all of the phytoplankton, which is sunk to the bottom of the ocean, and allows it to resurface to the top of the ocean so that it can photosynthesize and grow more, and then it allows all the smaller fish to eat again.
Yep.
So just by them diving down deep into the ocean, then coming back up, they stir it all up and they bring it all up. And I mean, the ocean does it itself anyway because it's moving all the time, but just having them as big turbines that dive really deep.
Yeah, right.
They open up the fresh food for the smaller ones, which is great. The biggest animal in the ocean.
It's a living planet, isn't it? That's what I love about it.
It's unfathomable. Like,
even though I just said the word
try
planet.
and understand this is extremely hard when we're in the confined spaces of our bodies.
And that's the beauty, I think, too, of nature itself, is it is actually out in nature all the time. We sort of lock ourselves away in our little enclosures and stuff, and we lose a lot of connection. But when you reconnect with it and just go out and look at the stars regularly, even just being out camping or something, whatever you're doing, you know, you do reconnect.
Like this and then looking up.
Exactly.
It does a lot more for the body,
Yep.
for sure. Stretches you.
I actually came here yesterday and took a really awesome video because there's no clouds around whatsoever.
It's a great camera you've got on there. What kind
No, it's just a Samsung phone. It's not that great, but it's better than nothing. S7, yeah. Yeah. And it played up on me, and all the footage I took of this beautiful moon and everything over there and a beautiful sunset. I get home and it said some unknown error occurred and I've lost it all. So I've reset the thing and come out again tonight to try and get some of it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to capture some too.
Yeah. What's your name, bro?
Ty.
Ty? Yeah, Ross.
Ross, nice to meet you.
You
Very
too, Ty.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you'd like to be on the video, I'll grab a picture of your face.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, cool.
Hey, Ross.
Awesome. Good on you, Ty.
No
Great
problem.
chatting.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing it all.
I can't guarantee it's going to actually work, but if it does, if the camera doesn't play up, yeah, I'm going to upload this onto it. It's a really interesting thing. If you start looking on the YouTube and start going down the rabbit burrow, as they call it, about the Earth being flat, you'll start to wonder why you ever believed you're on a ball spinning almost 2/3 the rate of a speeding bullet, chasing a sun that's going like 30 times the speed of a speeding bullet. There's so much weirdness about the whole heliocentric model, which makes no sense. But when you start to think of these things going around above us, the sun and the moon, it makes a lot more sense than
Going around us.
us spinning around on our axis. You know, what is it? 1.3 times the speed of sound. Can you imagine us standing here having a conversation, or people on the equator, when they're actually spinning 1.3 times the speed of sound? You'd never hear each other. It's just crazy.
But don't worry, the atmosphere keeps it all nice and beautiful.
Well, that's what they
for
say,
us.
but how could it if it's surrounded by a vacuum? You ever put anything inside a vacuum, the first thing that's going to disappear is the atmosphere, and the second thing will be the water, because water instantly boils in a vacuum. You can do any test of put a glass of water in a vacuum chamber, turn on the vacuum, the water will instantly boil at room temperature. That's what happens. There's no way we're surrounded by a
Great
vacuum.
for bubble baths.
Momentarily, until everything inside your body boils away.
Oh, it's full power. I need to
Yeah.
get
Go on, anyway. Take care.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, right?
You too.